We're in Sedona, Arizona, driving the all-new Subaru Outback.
Come to Arizona, they said. It'll be sunny, they said.
Brutal, so much rain.
Feel that little kick?
Little turbo.
Little turbo action. More turbo, more cowbell for Outback. Andrea, what's under the hood of this one?
A 2.4-liter turbocharged four-cylinder with a CVT. It gets 260 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. Standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, and you can use regular fuel in this Outback.
There is a base engine. It's a 2.5-liter four-cylinder, also with a CVT, 180 horsepower, 178 pound-feet of torque. Both powertrains come standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive.
Subaru has really cleaned up the trims in Canada, offering only one non-turbo model, and that's because more people bought the turbo.
And you're getting more turbo. All right, let's get into the key standard features of that base model for Outback.
The base trim comes with a 12.3-inch digital driver display, a 12.1-inch touchscreen, wireless, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a 6-speaker audio system, black all-weather soft touch upholstery, heated front seats, a 10-way power driver seat, 4-way manual passenger seat, heated steering wheel, a sunroof, and a hands-free power liftgate. Some of these features may not be standard in the US.
There is a long list of what's new with the 2026 Subaru Outback. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with the way it handles. First off, Subaru has improved the driving dynamics of the Outback. And I gotta say, they worked on noise, vibration, and harshness, quietness of the cabin. It's all been improved. This has got the revised WRX electronic power steering rack, so it just gives you a sharper feel when it comes to the steering. We've been going along some twisty roads. I gotta say, this Outback is impressive.
Yeah, you gotta back up a little bit and talk about where it all started. 30 years ago, by the way.
30 years.
30 years ago, the Outback was introduced as a 1996 model. So here we are with the latest generation. Underneath this is still a sort of a quasi-same platform as the last model, heavily modified. It was built alongside the Legacy sedan and wagon, and they don't sell Legacy anymore.
No.
So now they decided, okay, since we don't have to make it for two different cars, we can really go to town on Outback and make it something totally different. A lot of you are interested in the way it looks. That is the biggest change you'll notice right away. We're going to talk about that in a moment. I agree with Andrea, though. Subaru does a particularly good job with noise, vibration, and harshness, and this just feels quality, and the fact that it has the turbo makes up for any of the CVT-ness that you typically get.
Well, that's the thing. I was saying to Zach, you'd be hard-pressed to even know this has a CVT. It is so smooth. There's been a few bumps in the road here, but most of the roads in Sedona are pretty good. But it does a good job eating up the imperfections. And then you've got the wilderness model as well if you want more capability with improved approach and departure angles.
I did give them the gears in the meeting this morning, Andrea. They said, you know, Outback owners were asking for more turbo, so we're providing more turbo. Only one naturally aspirated engine. And I said, well, what about Forester?
Yeah.
Oh no, they don't want turbo. I'm like, if you offered it in a Forester, I think people would take you up on that.
I agree with you, and we see that with Volkswagen. Volkswagen always said, Tiguan doesn't need more power. It's not what consumers wanted. Now they have a performance model, but Subaru looks at it with the Forester that they offer the hybrid, and that's giving them a little bit more power with the electric motor. Did ask about an Outback hybrid, and they're actually not sure about whether they will bring it to market, so we have to wait and see on that.
Okay, so they definitely have moved this more upscale. So the turbo is a big factor in that. It costs more than a Forester, and the buyer of this particular model, typically a little bit older, they have more money to spend, and you kind of get that feeling when you're driving it. We're going to talk a lot about the interior in a moment and how we think they got the interior absolutely right. But yeah, they're now really kind of separating Forester from Outback, not only in features, but also in price.
And look, as you go up in the trims with Outback and you get that turbo model, it does increase in price, and that top trim kind of maxes out at where some of the compact SUVs have their hybrid powertrain. So you're at least getting more power with the turbo, and you can still get into a more affordable Outback if you go with the base model and the non-turbo. Boy, it comes loaded with a ton of standard features now.
Well, we read them all off.
Yeah, I mean,
that was the base model.
Yeah, it's impressive.
We take a break in the video to show you our Cayenne GTS, an impressive machine for 2008 with one major drawback: no backup camera. Well, today I'm going to install a dash cam that is really stealth in appearance, and it adds a backup camera to this vehicle that didn't come with one. So have a look at this Wolfbox G9 Tripro, tri meaning 3 channels. What I love about this is it goes over the existing rear view mirror and securely straps into place. Because most dash cameras you can clearly see from outside the vehicle through the front window. With this one, you can't tell it's something more than just a mirror. So the 3 channels, you get the front camera recording at 4K, the rear camera 2.5K, and the in-cabin camera record at 1080p. Tripro, meaning 3 angles. So it connects via USB-C. You can use the 12 volt, or you can hardwire it in to your electrical system, and there's a very long cord to attach the rear camera. So it really didn't take long to set up, and once it's set up, you have full control over the mirror. You have one angle, all 3. The rear view camera is what I really like because I don't have that. And it's so crystal clear. This is really impressive. Plus, with a 5.8 kilohertz Wi-Fi connection, you can transmit to the app at 8 megabytes a second. What I really like about this is it's stealth. You get the rear view camera. You can't even really see that it's a dash cam from outside the car. And it has what's called PureCell Plus technology, making license plates easy to read at night. So the images on this really are excellent, and I love this design. If you'd like to get a Wolfbox G900 Tripro for yourself, make sure to click on the link in the description below.
So Outback has the latest version of EyeSight Driver Assist technology, and it has an updated X mode, and you have hill descent control and a wide mono view camera as well. Now, it does come with some more available features that they've added. You can only get it on the top trim, these features, and I'll go into them in a second. But we did ask Subaru, will you eventually add them to other trims? They said maybe if the demand is there. So, highway driving assist, hands-free highway driving assist.
Yeah, you're actually able to take your hands off the wheel, similar to what they have with Super Cruise on major highways and mapped roads. There's a separate, totally separate GPS system that you can't access that is used to map those roads or to figure out where you are on those roads. Yeah. Quite ingenious.
And speeds up to 137 kilometers per hour, 87 miles per hour. And then there's also emergency stop assist with safe lane selection and active lane change assist.
So the biggest thing about this new Outback is the way it looks. Now, from a distance, you might not be able to see the station wagon roots where this all started 30 years ago. But if you squint a little bit, you can still see the wheelbase is the same. It has a long, straight roof, but they've made it look more chunky and SUV-like with a bigger front grille, a raised roof, and a bolder look to the back and the front, leaning into what people want. People want SUVs. Wagons are a very narrow part of the market, so they're leaning into the SUV look.
Subaru says that their consumers, their buyers, want a more rugged Outback that has a truck-like look to it. I think that they've nailed it. Look, I actually like the exterior design. I think that they've done a good job. It's a good cross between an SUV and a wagon, but it still stays true to its roots when it comes to driving. It has a more car-like driving feel. You sit lower to the ground, yet easy to get in and out of the vehicle. And what I like is now that there's more headroom, there's even better visibility.
One more thing with the exterior. We'd only seen this at auto shows, and when you see it, you're like, I don't know if I like the looks of it. But when you see it out on the road and you see it in person, you get used to the looks and you go, okay, that's just the new Outback. The front is maybe a little polarizing. They've broken up the headlamps and the daytime running lights, and it's got a bolder grille, but trust me on this, you will get used to it.
Now the wheelbase remains the same. This is just a modified platform. So you're getting basically the same measurements, but you're getting 2 inches more headroom in the interior, which means more interior volume and larger cargo capacities. Even Subaru says this is kind of competing more in the mid-size class for an SUV, and we've got some measurements for Passport, not quite there.
I think that's a bit of a stretch. I mean, they've got, see, when you add more headroom, that makes the number sound so much bigger.
Yeah.
But useful space is length and width, and mid-size SUVs, like a Pilot, it's just wider, and you don't get that. This is the same width.
The Outback has 8.7 inches of ground clearance, the Wilderness model more at 9.5 inches. It comes standard with LED steering responsive headlamps, LED fog lights, LED combination tail lamps, 18-inch wheels, available 19-inch wheels, and a temporary spare tire. We love that. The Wilderness model gets 17-inch wheels with all-terrain Bridgestone dualer tires.
Well, when Andrew and I switched seats, I realized we forgot to talk about the new roof rack.
Yeah.
So if you're not familiar, the old Outback had these cross spars that actually tucked away inside the rails. They've gotten rid of that. What they heard from customers is they want more capacity, so they've made the rails stronger. You would have to buy them from the dealer, the cross spars. So now you can put 800 pounds, that's like a couple of chubby auto journalists in the rooftop tent.
In a tent.
In a tent. And when you're driving, the rooftop tent has to be 220 pounds or under. And now there's more torsional stability. You can actually tie a hammock off the side up to 100 kilos, they said.
Yeah.
So that's another chubby auto journalist. There's a lot of people in this car, man.
Now, how about this interior? I would say the biggest change came right here. First off, gone is the 11.6 inch touchscreen where everything was done in the screen. Buttons, knobs, you've got a 12.1 inch touchscreen that's standard with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And guess what? It's not laggy and it's easy to use.
I played around with it and I was just like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Subaru because I think they actually did a great job with this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Fisher Price. There's like 4 things it does really well, and it's quick, and it's all you need. And it has onboard navigation if you want that, or you can use your Apple or Android. And the materials in here are excellent. We get a different version in Canada than the United States. They get a cloth dash pad. We get the vinyl wrap dash pad in Canada, and shiny hard plastic is kept to an absolute minimum right here where the shifter is. The rest of it is this matte look. I mean, we are in the top trim, granted, but I got to tell you, Andrea, the more time I spend with this thing, the more I like it.
Nailed it with the interior design. I feel like I'm beaming with excitement because there's buttons. I don't know, there's so many manufacturers that are not providing buttons. Everything's done in the screen. I think the graphics are really clear. They're bright. They're crisp. The 12.3 inch digital driver display, the same thing.
Yeah, that is really well done. The simplicity of the head unit is fantastic. It's well laid out. Same thing that Subaru has done on all their cars. Excellent outward visibility, easy to get in and out of. People who buy this are going to be happy, and I think when you've got the extra power of the turbo, it is kind of their top trim. You can see that they've positioned this as their, quasi-luxury car.
Yeah, in Canada, you're not getting cloth anymore, even for the seats. It's now this all-weather material, and then available, you can get leather trimmed, and then this Nappa leather, which you get on the top trim. You can get it in brown or black on the top trim, which is nice. I do like this color. Storage is quite good at the center console. Cup holders are easy to access. You've got a traditional shifter, and guess what? The door pockets, Zach, for your big gulp, a 32-ounce cup.
What's really nice about that is a felt lined water bottle holders, so if they're sloshing around in there, they don't make a lot of noise.
And how about this tray for your phone when you've got it plugged in?
And they have a little cable minder that they built in as well. So a lot of little improvements that have been really well thought through. It's so unique in the marketplace, still having the availability of a wagon. It doesn't really have any competition.
Nope. They've done a really good job with it. Overall, I just feel like you're still getting a bit of that greenhouse effect that you get in Forester. It's going to appeal to a lot of people. Now, there is an available 8-way power passenger seat, so you've got a power height adjustment, but the base trim comes with a 4-way manual passenger seat, and there's no ratchet height adjustment.
Available features include a surround view monitor, navigation, wireless charger, 13-speaker Harman Kardon sound system, 12-way power driver's seat, 2-way lumbar support, driver's seat memory, which includes the mirrors, 8-way power front seat for the passenger, ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, and a hands-free power liftgate. Well, here's me getting in the second row. Right away, you notice there is a lot of legroom. Of course, the roof has been raised. You get excellent headroom. There's an armrest that folds down. You can really stretch out. How does this compare?
The Outback has 43 inches of front row legroom and 39.5 inches of second row legroom.
Lifting up the power tailgate, this is going to take a second here. They got rid of the traditional cargo cover and they've gone to a cloth cargo cover. Now you can move it around the cargo area to use it for different kinds of things. One clever one that I kind of like, you clip in the cargo cover and then you can roll it over the back bumper when you're loading something in, maybe a dog or a heavy item, so the bumper won't scratch. Underneath the floor, you got to dig 3 layers, but it's there. The temporary spare tire.
Cargo space behind the second row is 34.6 cubic feet. That's 2 cubic feet larger than the outgoing model. Overall cargo space is 80.5 cubic feet, an extra 4.9 cubic feet. I did say I would share the Passport cargo dimensions as well, 44 cubic feet behind the second row, and overall cargo space is 83.8 cubic feet, so the Passport is still bigger.
So we told you there was a long list of new features in this. Now we're going to get into the most important, the price and more.
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first and then we'll move on to the US. We're using MSRP. The base model with the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder starts at just under $41,000 and the top trim that we're test driving is just over $51,000. In the US, the base model with the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder starts at just under $35,000 and the top model of the 2.4T is just under $48,000.
Here's the fuel economy for the base engine, 9.3 liters per 100 kilometers city, 7.5 on the highway. That's 25 miles per gallon city, 31 on the highway. For the turbo, it's 11 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 8.3 on the highway. That's 21 miles per gallon city, 28 on the highway. The base Outback can tow 2,700 pounds, the turbo 3,500 pounds. The warranty is 3 years, 60,000 kilometers or 36,000 miles. Lightning round, 2 things we like to see improved.
I really like the car-like driving dynamics.
I like me more turbo.
Even though the turbo is offered, I'd still like to see a hybrid for improved fuel economy.
I want the ratchet style seat for the passenger. Trust us on this. You know, Andrea's glowing over there. She really likes this a lot. You will get used to the looks. You will. There it is. It's the new Outback. What do you think of that?
Thanks for watching. And if you like what you see, subscribe. We'll see you next time.